Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to have another look at the Caliban. So my initial thoughts on the tank is, some people will say this tank is overpowered. Some people would say it's absolutely useless. There is really no in between. It's either absolutely useless or completely overpowered. It all depends on how you look at it. It's a difficult one because I don't think it's overpowered, but I know what you guys are thinking and why you guys are thinking it. Personally, I think it is a balanced tank, but it's not a tank that I absolutely love. It is a tier 8 Death Star, so basically it's an FV215B 150. Because it's not a 183mm, it is 150mm. So what makes this tank special? And there's only one thing that really makes this tank special, and that is the HE, and of course the Alpha, which is why it is a tier 8 Death Star. So your armor, you don't really have any armor whatsoever. You can get the troll bounce on the turret, but it's nothing really you can rely on. You can't really rely on the armor at all. So you have 1747 damage per minute. So the damage per minute is really, really bad. That is a 20-second reload, just like a Death Star. You have 229 AP pen, and of course you do have Hesh, so you have 187 pen. The only bad thing about this is, of course, like tanks like the T49, you don't have any premium round. Your Hesh is your premium. You don't have any backup. You've either got the AP, and if you can't pen with the AP, then you've got nothing else to be able to penetrate. You just have to do a bit of splash damage with the Hesh. So you've got a 580 Alpha gun with your AP, and a very, very nice 860 with your Hesh. Aim time, of course, for the tank is really, really bad at 5.8. And the gun dispersion is really, really bad at 0.474. You have 8 degrees of gun depression and a very, very slow 30 kilometers per hour. So everything, all that, it does lead to, it looks like it's not a great tank. It really does. But I wouldn't say it's not a great tank. Of course, it has its weaknesses, it has its strengths. But for me, the really worst weakness for me is the speed, 30 kilometers per hour. You want to use it like a T49-ish, not as quick, but you know, I just want it to go a little bit. And I mean, not just 35, maybe 45 kilometers per hour I think this tank needs. Apart from that, you also have the really bad track traverse, turret traverse. All that is very, very slow as well, which really does not help the tank. So we've got a couple of games. We've got one game in the Black Goldville here from me, and we have a game from someone else that does really, really good as well. So the tank looks fantastic. The tank really does look good. I love the look of it. The camouflage. I think all of this it does make the tank look really, really good. It is a scary tank. It is a scary tank, just like the Death Star. The Death Star is a really scary tank, but just because it's a scary tank, it doesn't mean it is overpowered. It's just a scary tank. That is all it is. If you come side on and you've got a Caliban looking directly at the side of you or the rear of you, then of course it is very, very scary, because you are aware of just how much alpha that this tank has got, especially when it comes to HE. And because it has the Hesh, it will be able to penetrate you no matter whether you're a tier 7, tier 8 or tier 9 from the rear. There's not many tanks that has that much armor from the side or the rear. Now, stupidly, that was a stupid shot, but sometimes you've got no choice but to snapshot that. And just unfortunate, because the dispersion isn't great, then you're not always going to succeed. So we get a nice shot there to the Defender Mark 1. So now that puts him down to a 1-shot, and as you can see, he is dead. So if you are able to use that Hesh, always try to use the Hesh. Now, we're going to do something stupid in a minute. We see a nice Caliban there, which we will be able to pen. Now, he's not looking, which I was expecting him there to take the shot into the E5. He didn't, and I really, really paid the price. Over 1,000 damage done to me from that guy. And if you make a mistake, that is what can happen to you. You will suffer. You really will suffer. So just the 4 versus us 5 now. There are a couple of one-shots, but I'm also a one-shot, especially to this Caliban. So I'm just going to go around. I'm going to make sure that he can't see me, and we have a high max roll loaded. So of course we're going to use the Hesh, and we're going to get a nice juicy shot into this J Panther. A high roll there at 1,075. So even though it doesn't have the DPM, it has really, really low DPM. If you're able to get these Hesh shots out, you really can get that damage very, very quickly. So as you've seen, we've done 3k damage. We've only done a couple of shots, and we do manage to get rid of that guy. So next up, we're going to go and watch a bit better game played by somebody else. So this game here is a long game, so I've just skipped the first minute or so, and it does require a lot of patience. So you see that first shot there into that yo, the bottom plate with Hesh was 811, and this is what I mean, like, you have to rely on the Hesh. If you don't use the Hesh, it's really not going to be an exciting tank for you. Of course, there's going to be some situations where you can't use the Hesh, but you always got to try. You've got to try to see if you can. I mean, it's not like HE. Hesh really is not like HE. It has the higher pen. And just like that, and you could do 1,634 damage in 2 shots. HE, we know, has the higher alpha, but HE has the lower pen. But with Hesh, those of you that don't know, Hesh is for British tanks. Not all British tanks, of course, but Hesh is a high pen HE basically. So it's the same as HE, except for it's got a lot higher pen. So you can penetrate more than you think, especially when you are top tier and you're coming up against tier 7s. Well, just like you've seen it there against that yo. Like, he absolutely nailed him, like, completely. 2 shots and he's pretty much dead. So of course, when you come up against tanks like the VK100, you're not going to be able to do much. You will be able to, however, penetrate that lower plate with Hesh. You just got to try. I mean, look at that. Unfortunately, because of the aim time, because of the gun dispersion, that one did not succeed. But you had to go for it because it is such a bad aim time and dispersion. Most of the time you take them shots, it is only going to be a bit of splash damage. But high risk, high reward. That is what we say on the channel. You've got to go for it. And again, a nice shot there against the SP1C. So far, yes, he's full hit points. Just look at the traverse on the tank. Like, it really is slow. Look at the turret traverse. Look how slow that is going round. And the turret traverse is really bad. It really is bad, and it will make you suffer. Another nice shot there against the yo. Lower plate, absolutely nailed him. Now that already is 3,000, pretty much 3,200 damage. So it is a 4 against 4. There's the G-Saw. He will be able to HE him as well, as you can see. He can penetrate him all over as long as he doesn't splash. And again, unfortunately, only leaves him on 40 HP. But that, once again, was a beautiful HE shot. So now our guy is going to ignore them, and he's going to go for the T29 here. There's 2 guys here, all one shots, so he needs to help and go for the T29. But unfortunately, just as he gets here, the rest of his team all die. Now, you see that penetration there? That was with Hesh at the side of his turret. So that is what the Hesh can do. So now he's got to either go for the Hesh, or he's got to risk it and go for the AP, and hopefully he high rolls. Is he going to do it? Yes, he does. He does have a high roll loaded. So now it is 5,200 damage, and he is on his own against 2 tanks. Now, the VK100 still has a nice bit of HE left. Now, he manages somehow just to get away from this guy. He's going to go for the shot. Unfortunately, does not actually doesn't go for the shot, but he does get shot from these guys. Now, he is a 1 versus 1. He is a one shot. Unless he gets extremely lucky with his shot, he will not be able to one-shot this guy. So this is where you need a bit of mobility, a bit of speed, just to get around the map, because there's only 2 minutes left on the clock. Now, if he was in something like a T49, he could go reset his camo, run around the entire map and then get a shot coming from behind. But of course, this isn't a T49. It hasn't got the mobility of a T49, so he doesn't really have that option with the time that he has left. The only thing he can really do is go for the HE and hope for the best. Now, he doesn't have a high roll loaded, but if he gets lucky, he may be able to take him out in one shot. Regardless of what happens now, he has already done a beautiful job. 5,300 damage. He has managed to block 310, but again, it's not a tank that is going to block a lot of damage. So with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, he decides not to take the shot. Somehow he does spot the VK now. He's not spotted yet, so we may be able to come excuse me, may be able to come from the side, but whatever he does need to start doing it quickly, because there is only 1 minute left on the clock. So there he is. He's going to take the shot. What a beautiful high roll that was. 970 damage and a very, very nice win. And that was Hesh into the side of a track of a VK100. So that is the Caliban Hugo there. The tank looks beautiful. It is a tier 8 Death Star when played correctly. But other than that, it is a Marmite tank. You either love it or you hate it. Let me know if you love it or you hate it in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.